What's going on, everybody? Guns and Gains back here again with another video for you. Today we have another gun review on a budget-friendly AR-15. This is the Armalite Eagle 15 ORC, or Optics Ready Carbine. And I'm just going to give you my impressions on this gun, my subjective opinion on it, and whether or not I think it's worth spending your money on, coming up next on Guns and Gains. Alright, before we take a look at the Armalite Eagle 15, just a quick safety check to make sure the gun is unloaded, which it is. The upper and lower are made out of forged 775 T6 aluminum, and there has a black anodized finish, which is pretty shiny. I don't know if you can see just how shiny it is with this lighting. So there's that side, here's the other side. So the barrel is 16 inches in length, and this gun is chambered in 223 Wild, as you can see right there on the barrel. 223 Wild is not a specific cartridge. It's just a chambering that gets the best accuracy out of 223 Remington and 5.56 NATO. Without going into too much detail, that's pretty much it. You can fire 223 and 5.56 through this gun without any problems. The barrel is a chrome moly barrel, as you can see by the CRMO. That's chrome moly barrel, and it has a 1 in 8 twist. 1 in 8 is great because it's an intermediate twist rate between the 1 in 9 and the 1 in 7. It's going to stabilize a wider variety of bullet weights. Moving forward on the barrel, you just have a standard A2 birdcage flash hider up front. The barrel has a black Cerakote finish on it, kind of a matte black Cerakote finish. It doesn't match the upper and lower, because the upper and lower are more shiny, and then the barrel is just kind of flat black. Moving back, right here you have your gas block, and you have a sling swivel attached to your gas block. The gas block is interesting on this gun. You don't have an A2 front sight on here, so this gun is ideal for mounting optics like I have mounted, the Nikon P223 scope. I'll probably have a separate review coming out on this scope, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, this gas block, you can it's on the same plane as your upper receiver, so you can put a front sight up here and then a rear sight back here and use it no problem. And then the A2 front sight doesn't get in the way of your scope or your red dot or whatever you have mounted. While we're talking about sights, I think now is a good time to mention that this gun does not come with any sights, so you will have to buy backup iron sights, a scope, a red dot, or something just so you can go to the range and shoot it. The handguard is 6.7 inches in length, so it's a carbine length handguard, carbine length gas system. This is the stock handguard that came on this gun. This handguard isn't too bad. There is a heat shield. I don't know if you can see down in there, but this handguard does have a heat shield, which is nice, especially for an entry-level AR-15. Moving back to the upper and lower receivers, you have a forward assist right here and a dust cover, and then a shell deflector here as well. So, you know, standard features for AR-15s. The trigger is a single stage trigger. I will say the trigger is pretty good, especially for a gun in this price range. It really lends itself to really good accuracy. Then you have a standard trigger guard here. You can put an extended one on there if you want. I really haven't had any issues shooting with gloves with this gun, my finger not fitting in there. So, I mean, it's there. If you want to replace it, you can. That's why AR-15s are so nice. You can replace anything that you want on them pretty much. Moving back farther, I replaced the standard A2 grip that comes on this gun with a mag pull, and then I put a MFT minimalist stock on here, which I really like, especially since this gun is pretty heavy at 6.5 pounds, and once you add, you know, a scope and everything on it to it, it gets even heavier. So it's nice to cut a little weight back here. The buffer tube is mil-spec diameter. Castle nut is not staked. Is that a big deal? Not really. Some people need it. Some people want it to be staked. Some people don't. I don't really care. It hasn't come loose or anything, so right now it's not an issue. The length of this gun is 32.25 inches long with the stock fully collapsed, and with the stock fully extended, it extends out to 35.5 inches long. So that's the outside of the gun. Let's take a look at the inside of this gun. Let me pop this rear takedown pin here. All right. If you look at the bolt carrier and the feed ramps here. So this is your bolt carrier group. Gas key is properly staked. That's the first thing people usually go to. Up here at least, the gas key and the front of the bolt carrier group are chrome lined. It's nice to have, I guess, easier to clean. But back here, there's no chrome lining, as you can see in the rear. Chrome firing pin, as you can see. Standard stuff, standard bolt. There's your bolt. Let's take a look at the trigger. Let me get some light in there. There's your trigger. I will say a pretty nice trigger, especially for a gun in this price range. And you can see down in there, you do have M4 feed ramps, which aids in feeding. So this gun hasn't had any feeding issues to date. Let me button this back up. Charging handle, standard AR-15 charging handle. Nothing special about it. So this gun does come with a standard 30 round PMag. You know, it works with all other AR-15 magazines. Whatever magazine I've put in it, it's worked. Hex mags work. Aluminum GI mags work. You know, whatever magazine you have is going to work in this gun.
Okay, so what could you use this gun for? You know, standard AR-15 philosophy of use. Pretty much the main use I have for it is a range gun. I just like to take it out and shoot with it. You know, because it's fun, especially with this Nikon 1.5 to 4.5 power scope. It just makes plinking at the range fun. I mean, I guess you could use it for home defense, you know, home defense, truck gun, hunting. It's just a really overall excellent gun. Pretty much a jack of all trades. Anything that, pretty much any standard AR-15, standard use of an AR-15 you want to use it for, you can use it for. As far as price on this gun, on the Armalite website, they don't really have an MSRP, but they have it listed for $5.99. I don't know if that's standard MSRP or not, but I did a little searching before making this video, and I've seen them on a couple websites, somewhere in that $450 to $485, $490 range. Definitely well south of $500. I wouldn't pay over $500 for an entry-level AR-15 like this or Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2, which I have a review on. If you have not seen that, go check it out. Excellent gun for the money. Or, you know, a DPMS, Delton, whatever entry-level AR-15. I wouldn't pay over $500 for one. And this one's definitely going to come in right under $500. So why did I buy this particular gun instead of going with, you know, any number of entry-level AR-15s? To be honest, when I bought this gun, I was looking for an AR-15 that I could mount a scope to. That was my number one concern. Automatically, any AR-15 that had an A2 front sight was out, because I was not going to replace that. I didn't want to spend the time, the money, effort to replace it. So automatically, that eliminated a lot of options. I was looking at a DPMS because the DPMSs do not have the standard A2 front sight gas block. And I was looking at that one, and it was on sale, but the guy at the gun counter went and he handed me this one. And what sold me on it was a couple of things. Number one being that the front sight gas block is on the same plane as the upper receiver. That was one thing. Second thing was on the DPMS, I could not stand the standard DPMS, I think they call it the Glacier Handguard or whatever. I could not stand that, and I did not like how the stock looked. The stock just looked funky. And the DPMS just wasn't as high quality as this one is. And the other thing is the 223 Wild chambering of this gun versus the 5.56 chambering of the DPMS. The DPMS just wasn't going to be as accurate as this gun. And I was really looking for accuracy since I was planning to mount a scope to it. As far as compliant models for you folks in restricted states, I couldn't find any reference to compliant models, so just comes in the standard non-compliant free state version, and does have a 1-year warranty from Armalite For the money, it's equal in quality to a Smith & Wesson Sport 2. I don't know if it's better than a Sport 2. Maybe I'll have to do a comparison video of the two guns. But it's definitely on par with that price range of AR-15. What gives it the advantage, I think, is the 223 Wild Chamber and this front sight gas block, which makes it easier to mount optics. Let's talk about accuracy. This is the only target I could find, unfortunately, and this doesn't really do justice to the accuracy of this gun. But this first group right here in the middle, the scope is sighted for 100 yards, so all my shots are low, because this was at 50 yards. But right here is a, I believe, 10-shot group. That's all within 2 inches. So extrapolate that, that'd be 4 inches at 100 yards. This is just Wolf Gold's ammo, cheap ammo. Down here, right here, there's 3 shots in 1 hole. So, and then you have 2 shots, almost touching down there as well. And then up here you got 3 shots within, can almost cover it with my fingernail. So this gun is definitely accurate. I don't know if it's sub MOA or 1 MOA, but it's definitely under 1.5 to 2 MOA at 100 yards. I really wish I had more targets to show you. I don't know what happened to them. I had a bunch of them, but I guess they got misplaced or thrown away or something. But I cannot find them. It is a great shooting gun, very accurate, especially with the scope. I'm not the best shooter in the world, so it's definitely capable of really, really extremely good accuracy. Problems with this gun, I have not had any failures to feed, any malfunctions like that whatsoever, no matter what magazine I've put in it, what ammo I've put in it. I've not used any steel case. I tend to stay away from steel cased ammo, especially in AR-15s. That's just me. I'm sure steel cased ammo is fine. A lot of people swear by it, but I just don't use it. I did have a few issues the first time I took this out to the range with the bolt not locking back after the last round fired. That was back in December, so it could have been the cold, could have been any number of things, but since then I have not had any issues with that. And since then I've fired about probably 200 or 300 rounds through this gun, and none of those issues have come back up. Accessories, the sky's the limit for accessories on this gun. You got optics, front handguards, rails, flash hiders, stocks, grips, whatever you want to switch out on this gun, you can switch out. Overall, this gun is a very excellent entry-level, budget-friendly AR-15. This would be a great first AR-15, especially since it's under $500. This gun is great for somebody who wants to mount a scope to their AR-15, and they don't want to worry about replacing the A2 style front sight. So the bottom line, would I recommend this to a friend? And the answer is yes, I would recommend this to a friend. I would recommend this gun to anybody looking to get in their first AR-15. Maybe you have 1 or 2 already and you just want one to tinker around with and change stuff out on. This would be great for that, especially since it comes in under $500. There are so many great features to this gun that you don't find on every entry-level AR-15. Right now the market is pretty saturated with AR-15s, so really do your research, try to figure out exactly what you want, and then you won't regret your purchase. I know I have not regretted my purchase of this gun. I really love this gun, and I highly recommend it to anybody looking for an AR-15. So thank you for watching Guns and Gains. If you liked this video or found it helpful, please leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions about this particular gun, leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. As always, this is Guns and Gains. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.